You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Oh, today is Monday, December 29th. And if you can hear me, then you are listening to Straight Talk with your host, this intellectual Kate Taylor, and her co-host, the uber professional, completely cool, and always alpha male, Christopher Crash Jesus Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
This is HTLA Radio 1, the world's best talk radio, on the world's first all brilliantly exceptional, all utterly original talk entertainment programming ever. If you haven't yet been there, then head on over to HTLA's sexy new world at www.htlaradio1.com. That is the number one, just like us. And, as you'll come to see in just a few short days here, there can be only one. And that one is this one. HTLA Radio 1, New York.
That's right, the show that started it all and that still brings you the best celebrity guests, timeless topics, and talk that you can take with you.
That's right, my superstar COO. We constantly strive to give you talk that is as good to you as a tangible gift. Something where we say, here, this is for you. Thanks for coming, and see you next week. It's also why I hope you'll keep your iTunes, tablets, and browsers locked in with us for all of our shows each week.
You got it. We're going to get straight to the talk for you listeners, so anytime you may feel curious or maybe want to know more, just head on over to HTLARadio1.com and find out what's going on and what's coming around. And be sure to click on our super sponsors and advertisers and visit their most excellent offerings.
That's right. More than ever, 2015 is going to see our listeners be able to make themselves part of the Radio 1 experience. So be sure to leave us some feedback and contact us, and enjoy your visit to the world of HTLA.
Oh, that's right. So, wow, another year gone.
I know.
We are going into our 5th year of broadcasting for you fine folks, and in that time, we have lost dear ones, brought new life into what we do as well as into the world, and continue to tweak and tune us to be the best we can be for you.
That's right. Yes, we do. And as you notice, we get more dramatic as every year goes by, too, apparently. That's right.
Yes.
But rather than become complacent and just keep the status quo going, we're bringing the whole caboodle to a new level in 2015 with more shows, more interactivity, like I was saying, more listener input and innovative technologies, such as our mobile app development. And speaking of mobile, the rolling out of our mobile HTLA studio that'll be broadcasting live from events all around the country in 2015. That's right. But as we've got a lot to get to tonight, before we get rolling here, as usual, would you be so kind as to get to the station business, if you please?
Right you are. Well, Straight Talk is, of course, brought to you tonight by Tim Hortons New York City and their 8 fine locations for all your coffee and baked goods needs. Also by Netflix Original Productions, and, of course, this is a PreSonus broadcast studio. And last but certainly not least is, of course, Fierce Kitty Omnimedia.
Meow. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, my most awesome partner and everything ever.
The Everything Bagel.
That's right.
Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter for the station. It's HTLA Radio 1. For me personally, it's at Crash Talkin'. And for my always right wife's personal Twitter, follow at Fierce Kitty Kate.
That's right. Cool beans.
And finally, remember to join us here every week because you never know who's going to show up on Straight Talk to, of course, talk straight. Now, before we roll it, my dear, it is time to say it.
Okay, tonight's show is
Powered by Procast.
Oh, yeah.
Rockin'.
And more new things I've taken to the button this year.
Oh, she's on the
I am on
she's
the
on
button.
the booth. Jenny's off for the night, enjoying the city.
That's right.
And Kate's taken over the booth duty, and she's, well, so far, we haven't had anything blow up.
No, we have not. Well, not this year anyway.
No. Give us time.
That's right. But as tonight's show is our yearly retrospective that everybody's come to know and love, and we've got a little bit of a clip for you later on in the show of when we started earlier, that disaster episode that we were talking about some time back. We've actually got a clip for you of that. So
Yes, we do.
but we started the year. We always start our seasons in December, but actually in 2015 the new season of Straight Talk is going to roll out in January, so that's going to be something new too.
Right.
But December 2nd, 2013, we launched Season 4 of Straight Talk. So, it's actually been more than a year right now.
Yeah.
So we ran this season long. But so much has happened since then for HTLA. So some longtime favorite shows like Sex and the Kitty were canceled.
Oh.
I wish I had your Boo and Children now.
Oh.
Yeah. But while other new shows like Coffee and Cigarettes were launched to super acclaim.
Well, that's true, Kate. Actually, I'm pretty lucky to have Louis Lawless as my right-hand man on that show every day, I'll tell you.
That's right. And, that was the first show, I believe, to get picked up by iHeartRadio. And it's funny because that's our newest one.
No. The first show to get picked up by iHeartRadio was Crash Talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, since they're both yours, I got confused.
And then they followed closely behind there, actually at the same time with, what was that now? Oh, yes, Film 101.
Oh.
So,
wait a second. Real Talk was thrown in there somewhere, too.
Yeah, Real Talk submitted. This fine show right here, Straight Talk Mondays, has been submitted, and so has, of course, Coffee and Cigarettes.
Right.
We await the judge's decision.
Well, we know what their best show's going to be, and we'll talk about that later on.
We certainly do.
Yes, we do.
Uh-huh.
And we talked about world events that happened in 2013 on that super launch show in December.
We did.
And there were lots of things, but there was nothing I think as aggravating as the stuff that actually went down this year.
I gotta kind of agree. Yeah. Yeah. I would.
And you should know because you've got 2 shows a week that talk about that kind of stuff. So that's why you're the expert here.
Well, absolutely. And, it's kind of, I'll tell you, the most frustrating thing this year, by far, Ferguson, Missouri, or as Louie and I like to call it on Coffee and Cigarettes, Ferguson moron.
Right.
Yeah, and
that was a fiasco.
Even today, now we're looking at even more protests sprouting up all over the country.
Right. Mm-hmm. And more, victims of such things. Not that we condone any kind of action like that, but, it's like I say, it's like, oh gosh, you get a piece of bad news and you burn down your own house. It just doesn't make any sense, that kind of behavior. It just doesn't.
Right.
Well, as I always say about the pendulum,
It comes back, yeah.
That's right.
Right in the face.
It's swung way so far now that it can only come back now. So
yeah,
it's saddening and maddening. But we've had our share of notable guests this year too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
Academy and Emmy award-winning directors such as Joe Berlinger and Katie Chevigny, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And although we've always been a socially conscious, global conscience and entertainment, we still are entertainment. And you're going to be finding a lot more produced entertainment from this station in the future. Yes, I said produced entertainment from this station in the future. That's right, because that's the...
Did you say produced entertainment from this station in the future?
I did. I absolutely did.
Where's my rim shot? Where's my comedy drum?
I know, right? That's it. But even though the show is serious, we can have fun with it, and that we are entertainment,
There you go.
And, and we're going to up the ante as well when it comes to sponsorship and advertisements enjoyed on our programs and for the network, which is going to, allow us to make that interactivity I was speaking about.
Well,
possible.
Another first, actually, technically, it's another first for HTLA in 2014, but it's for HTLA in 2015, which, of course, is the hiring of those two fine ladies who are doing our marketing and sales for us.
That's right. We've got that department going on now, and that's really awesome. That's right.
Yes.
And, yeah. No, and it's true enough, and that's what's made this network so great to work for and build in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying earlier, that there is only one HTLA Radio 1 New York.
That's right.
And only one us. And we've been told that it's that core that makes this station great, and we shouldn't deviate from that course. And we've totally agreed.
Well, the interesting thing is you totally agreed. There's been several times during the last 4 years that I've turned my boat and gone south. And in each case, I completely have my boat blown into little splinters and get eaten by sharks. So, not going to do that anymore. And, when people like Marky Costello come to us from L.A. and tell us that, where it's at, I really needed to listen to you and her and just pay attention to us. So that's another thing we're going to be doing this year.
That's right. We are.
Yeah.
And, we've had a lot of great support over the years. And speaking of that, I want to acknowledge just a couple of people that have been, following us and things.
Yeah.
So a great big holiday wish and warm thank you for the support of David Caruso.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown HTLA over the years. He's always been a fan, and I'm going to look forward to hopefully returning that favor in 2015 by showing his art and promoting his gallery.
Yeah, his art is something pretty amazing. Very true. Not many people know that in addition to being a really great actor, he is a photographer and, of course, owner of David Caruso Art as well.
That's right. And I say we get him to do some stuff for the new studio when it opens. That would be so great, wouldn't it?
Well, and the other thing we could do is, because the website is kind of a mimic of our studio here,
right.
we could take some digital copies of his artwork, too, and place it on the same sections of the walls.
Oh, that would be so great.
Right.
Well, we can make us a little room that you can kind of veer off into that.
Yeah, it's almost a virtual tour.
An entrance into the gallery.
I like it.
We'll have to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
So that would be great. Well, I'll get in touch and I'll see if he'll come talk to us and our listeners about that part of his life.
All right.
And also to Ryan Seacrest, whose various interests are following HTLA's rapid rise as well. And that's something I just found out myself recently. So,
yes. Actually, early last week, a number of his entities are now following us on the old Twitter and Tweetbox and all that good stuff, too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
As well as some of the platforms we distribute to. We distribute to iTunes, iHeart,
Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Yeah, we're kind of everywhere. Not to mention the brick and mortar stations, and that many people. I don't know if many people even know that we have those.
No, I kind of stopped mentioning it last year.
Yeah, because unless you're one of those areas that receive us through your brick and mortar station, and there's 11 other internet radio stations besides those big platforms that we've mentioned.
But it should also be mentioned, too, that we don't actually do re-recordings or cut bits in to be area-specific to any locale.
No, not at all.
We're always, global. That's the deal.
Yes, they just grab our shows that they like and they rebroadcast us with our permission, as long as they don't change anything about our HTLA logos or our, our sounding boards and the things that we have on there that are pertinent to our corporate interests. But, not many people know that.
Well, no, absolutely true. So.
And, even some of the people that applied for jobs with us and things, they're not even aware of our reach, so to speak.
Well, there's that stuff would never come up.
Well, true. Right.
So.
Because, very, very true. Yeah. So what else have you got to add about 2013 into 2014?
Well, in addition to being trying on some levels, I guess personally, I would say that there's been some technical challenges this year that we've had to overcome. New software interface for the broadcast booth here.
Oh, that's right. We upgraded to HD in 2014, or was that 2013?
No, that was January of this past year. So 2014.
So sure.
Yeah. So
right.
So we're coming to you in true HD quality. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, we did that this year. That was all hardware. You know, that's when we got the PreSonus gear and all the other gear and the big boom mics and all that good fun stuff. So,
right.
So that's when we did that, of course, and did the soundproofing. You know, because we if you remember last year, 2013 or so, well, I guess the beginning of 2013 and back into 2012, of course, we were doing our webisodes, and we really didn't have any sound treatments in the studio at all.
No, well, we were in an isolated area pretty much anyway. We didn't.
It wasn't.
What a difference,
yeah,
though.
it wasn't too bad, but now it's much better.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, there's been those kind of technical things that have been going on, too, as well as a lot of corporate stuff, a lot of restructuring, a lot of policy making and that kind of stuff for all of the things we plan to do into the future.
Sure has. That's right. A lot of re-education for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Both MBA-wise as well as technology-wise.
Well, you did something with basketball?
Yes. That's, I'm not just a figurehead, you know.
No, absolutely not.
That's right. But also with the new website launched in 2014, our sexy new innovated another first for HTLA.
That was smoking. You did that in May, didn't you?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
It was in May.
I don't even know. What's May?
It's the month that you launched our new website.
It's permissions. I don't know what that is. But, yeah, because it's not a vertically scrolling site, but a horizontal one, such as you'll find on tablets and, you know, cell phones and things like that on the internet, on the web.
Right.
So that was the innovation there. And, you know, making it a replica of our studios was awesome to me.
Well, just the fact that you could do that was pretty amazing to me. I remember the first time you showed it to me, and I was kind of like,
what is that? Right. It's like decorated, just like our house.
How'd you do that?
It doesn't look like anything until it's done and you see the finished room, right?
Yeah.
I hear you. I know.
But would still like to improve on some navigation facets of that site.
Oh, it's always an ever-evolving process as we add more product and more features and, you know, this interactivity thing that's coming too. So, you know.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So, yeah, so that was the new website as well and the new domain and the announcement, of course, of HTLA Radio 2 and all that good stuff.
Right.
But we've had a little sit down. Yes.
Yeah, no, we're not going to be expanding the network at this juncture because, you know, we're just not. You know, we are, you know, there can be only one, and that is our motto for 2015, and that's that. And if I have to get Chris Lambert here myself to say it, we're going to do it. So, you know, that's just the way it is.
Well, and that's another thing we're going to be doing. It's time we parlayed all these PR companies we've been dealing with, you know, at their beck and call.
Friendships and relationships and hard-won networking, absolutely.
I'm talking about even greater than that. All these PR companies that have kind of insinuated themselves into situations.
Right.
And, we'll take it from here. Well, you know what? It's time for payback in 2015.
Right, that's true.
You start getting us some good guests.
That's true.
Not that the ones we've had suck, but...
No, my God, we've had some great guests this year. And speaking of guests, I want to wish my very dear friend Jonathan Sheck and family, you know, an amazing holiday. I haven't spoken to him in quite a bit, but he'll be back on again. He's coming back.
Yeah.
You know, and he's busy. You know, he's busy. He's making a lot of... films and doing a lot of projects, and he's got, you know, a family now, and, you know, one of the things I've always admired about him was his values and things like that. So
sure, yeah.
He's family first, just as we are, so that's a good thing, you know. But, yeah. Sounds good.
It's exciting stuff, isn't it?
It was a rough year for everyone. Not just socially, but personally. So many people went through so much stuff, and
yeah.
You know, I'm looking very forward to 2015 because it's going to be completely different. Even if it might seem not when it first starts out, because things always change slowly, especially when you're still waiting for that change. You know, But it's coming, and you just got to keep positive and doing what you do every day. Do the best that you can do in today, so that way tomorrow is set up for the best that it can be, and just one foot in front of the other kind of thing.
Absolutely. I'm with you all the way on that.
Right.
Now, we got to go for our first commercial break. And hey, kids, it's all brand new commercials for 2015. We got them in this afternoon. We've got them lined up.
I haven't even heard them yet.
No, you haven't. We got them lined up for the show right here for you tonight. Didn't even have any for coffee and cigarettes this afternoon. That's how late they came in.
Oh, no.
And we're about to unveil them live.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. We'll see you back here in 2.
And you're listening to Straight Talk with Kate and Crash on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more number one choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
In this fast-paced, digital everything life, there's nothing like experiencing the world's finest journalism in its original form. So sign up today for as little as $3.80 a week to receive the greatest newspaper in the world and all the incredible experiences that come with it.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
The hot new accessory, brows that wow. New from Maybelline, New York, it's Brow Drama, our first sculpting ball brush with tinted gel. Just sweep, then sculpt for bolder, sculpted brows. New Brow Drama. Get the look at Maybelline.com. Maybe it's Maybelline.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Say it ain't so, but it is so. Okay, we're back, and you are listening to Straight Talk Monday with Kate and Crash on HTLA Radio 1 New York. And we were talking about HTLA, our years in review.
All right, that's right. Our yearly retrospective today. That's right.
Damn. There you go.
So, what's coming for HTLA Radio 1 New York? Oh. Well, I am not canceling Straight Talk. But we are, well, I canceled Sex and the Kitty, and that was kind of heartbreaking. That was, it was kind of 3 seasons and 3 years of my baby there, and I hope I helped a lot of people. If I've helped one person with that show, then it was worth it.
Well, I'm kind of mixed on that show. It was,
you always were.
It was so good, but at the same time, it, you know, like you said it, you know, there was a certain amount of information that you wanted to get out with that show.
Right.
By the time we hit the third season, you know, you said that was it. That's the information.
They had to take it and run with it.
There it is.
Right.
So we'd urge you to go back through the archives and check out Sex and the Kitty.
That's right, because the first season is all about how to, you know, kind of reset yourself back to blank from the stresses of this terrible, modern, technologically driven world we live in.
Right.
And then the second season is about, you know, filling yourself up with good positive things and habits and, you know, because all that sort of thing enhances every area of your life. Even though it was called Sex and the Kitty, it wasn't really just entirely about sex at all.
Right.
Until the third season.
Well, yeah, then you got into it.
And then the corporate, you know, policies changed a bit, and we had some different people on the board that wanted to see Sex and the Kitty actually be about sex. So that's when we started doing product reviews. And and yeah, that was pretty painful for some personal reasons. Yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you know who was the guinea pig, yeah?
Well, you weren't alone in the venture, though.
Well, no, true.
That's right.
True.
But, at least I didn't get hurt.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
At least not that time.
Yes.
But, yeah, and it was time to pull the plug. You know, it had run its course, and there was just no other direction to take it in, so it had to go.
Well, I don't know. You know, I think that that's a show that I think deserves some revisiting in the future. You know, I'm not saying 2015. I'm saying, you know, at some point in the future, you know, do another one, because it's you know, do it from start to finish again. Do all those 12 parts or whatever it was. And
well, there's always a packaging it up for the best of for sale, like we talked about on Amazon and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So that's something we might be able to do. And then I can have the opportunity to record some preface things in there to make it a little more, you know, I've given you weekly exercises and stuff to do in there, and, you know, I really made it immersive. Yeah,
yeah. Well, the other thing is, too, is that first season of it was done without the HD equipment.
No, that's true, too.
Or the first and second.
I think it was the first and second.
Yeah, I think it was only the third that actually we got in with the new gear and stuff. So, you know, for no other reason, you know, redoing it just for that aspect would be a good thing.
Digitally remastered, as they say.
I could say something.
No.
I'm not.
Okay. So, yeah, but, you know, like Sex and the Kitty was canceled. We're not going to cancel Straight Talk, but we are going to revamp it. And just kind of like we're doing for all of our entire network, you know, to make it more true to the artists and their causes and the authenticity of how it began. We're kind of going back to the beginning of, you know, what made HTLA Radio 1 the awesome thing that it was, and, you know, where that all kind of went, the energy-wise. You know, when you do something like this for many years and, you know, corporate interests start to take hold and, you know, it stops being what it was originally. And anybody with an artistic pursuit can, you know, attest to that.
Sure.
But, so it's not just going to be about promoting blockbusters and doing the PR junkets, you know, for the moment, you know, and that's why our guests have always kind of been drawn to us and gravitated towards us, because just like with David and his art, you know, I'm not going to talk about his past shows and all that stuff. I want to know about him and his photography. I want to know about what my guests, you know, enjoy or need as people.
Sure.
You know, and I think that's what they relate to most and why they come back, you know, the way that they do.
Oh, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
So while all of our regular shows will be continuing, we do have, and I am so super excited. I've been trying to get this all put to bed now for months, and everybody who knows will also know. But Home Talk is the newest addition to the HTLA lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I am so excited.
Yeah.
You know, and again, just like the actors and directors we talk to that love us because we care more about than, you know, just their latest project or what they're wearing or who they're dating or whatever it is. You know, we want to know what's important to them as people. And, you know, I'm not just about film and television and radio either.
No.
You know, I had a TV show in development for HGTV in 2011.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my fans remember that, my listeners way back, if you've been with me since then. But then we had Tristan. And it currently fell, as so many projects do, in corporate limbo.
Or as I like to call him, Monkey Wrench.
We had Monkey Wrench. Well, his nickname is Boo Boo for a reason, you know.
Oops.
So that's right. But he was the best Boo Boo we ever made, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'll give you that.
Is. So HTLA's brainstormed and concepted a brand new idea in broadcasting, since I couldn't complete that HGTV project.
Right.
We're going to have our celebrity guests and friends come by to share their recipes, their home organization and sanity tips, their decorating challenges and ideas, and most importantly, especially around holiday times like this, their family traditions.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, but we are not just going to limit this to radio, au contraire. The Home Talk blog will show you everything we'll talk about with our guests each week. You know, we're going to have, in our home, you know, we're going to be doing some filming of some recipes and things that I'm working on that'll be up there on the blog as instructional little videos and things.
Right.
And, so the blog's going to show you everything we talk about, the recipes, the crafts, the room ideas, the people and places they love to shop or source things for their home from.
Right.
You know, their parenting and partnering challenges and solutions.
Good
so
one.
It's not just about, you know, it's not just about decorating or cooking or entertaining or anything. It's about home.
Gotcha.
You know, it's about home and how you live there. It's a life and style blog, not a lifestyle blog.
There you go.
You know, so, and it's all going to be done in the same eloquent style you've come to know and love from HTLA.
That's right. There you go.
That's right.
Well, let's see. What would be the first one? How did we come to the idea of concepting Home Talk? Well, it's quite simple, actually. And as Kate kind of just outlined more of in specific of what this show is going to be, we get a really good sense of what it's going to be. And the fact that, you know, you've got it paired up with the blog.
Right.
And, you know, adding that note of interactivity, you know, you're going to have your still images up there, your step-by-steps. You're going to have some video clips up there of this stuff actually coming together for the DIYer out there in you.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to see some sides of some celebrities that you've never seen before.
That's right.
That's really the hook that sold me when you came up with the concept for the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's something that nobody else does. You know, you'll see a celebrity go and guest on a reality show or a talk show or this, that, and the next thing. All they ever want to know is, well, what movie are you in? Well, what TV?
Right.
How's the TV series do? You know.
Yes.
It really struck a chord with me, you know, to think, well, let's have Andrew Lincoln on and find out what his tips are for storing his socks.
Right, exactly.
Because everybody knows what he thinks about the stupid TV show.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Absolutely.
so that's going to be a huge draw.
Maybe that's just because that's a product of my weird brain and how I think and how I am, and also given how I came up through first art school and then interior design and you know, to land back in entertainment.
Sure, yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So I always integrate everything. And it's just like everything else that we've always done. Everything feeds into each other and everything else. And it's all, you know, kind of that cyclical, supportive kind of thing. So I can't do really one thing without including everything else we're doing. So,
No, absolutely. Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's kind of always the way it's been with us.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, it's, you know, my background in film and television, your background in art and design and screenwriting, you look at both halves of our whole, that whole varied experience, that puts us pretty much in the expert category in one heck of a lot of important things. And that's another thing that kind of struck me with Home Talk when you pitched it to me, because not only could I see everything that you were saying in your concept, and not only could I see, well, I've seen you put together the beginnings of the blog and that kind of thing, and
Right.
I've seen how it's all coming together, and speaking from a television standpoint, this is going to be something that you could actually make into a very popular series as well.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not going to call HGTV again once it's all up and running.
Well, I don't think you have to call them. They're following you.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, that's right.
I think it was the third follower to the Home Talk Twitter account was them.
That's right. Well, that's good because maybe they're still interested then in what I was doing with them in 2011. Maybe they just haven't forgotten me.
There you go. And hey, Kate will, of course, come with full coaching by Marky Costello. So,
Marky, are you listening? You're going to have to pop back here to New York because I need your help. So, yeah. But, yeah, definitely. And that is the hugest, I guess, project change for HTLA coming in 2015 because that is a massive undertaking to put together an entire new, pretty much magazine edition every week.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? Plus shoot the show and shoot the clips and the how-tos and the interviews and things like that.
Do the editing, do the finishing, do the posting.
Answering the mail that's going to come in, about...
Absolutely, right. And that's a huge part of it, but also not to mention the actual production of the radio show.
Well, that's the easy part for me because if I have the blog, well, there's my script for the radio show. I just talk about what's the content on the blog that week, so that's going to be easy.
Right.
Much easier than say when we just did the E-Team interview with all those wonderful, amazing people, and I had to really research my butt off for like 2 weeks before that show because it was such an important topic and.
Well, I'm feeling comfortable in saying to the world that I was completely out of my depth. These people are just way up there in the level of understanding of the human condition all over the planet. So,
right,
yeah.
Really, but I thought you did great. I mean, we all have our skill sets and our experiences and our fortes and stuff. And
sure, yeah.
You talk about camera gear, and I'm lost.
Well, yeah, okay, there's that.
But that's pretty much about it, though.
Yeah. You talk about anything else, and I'm lost. Yeah, there you go.
No, well, that's the thing. We've always been that way. It's what I don't know, he knows, and what he doesn't know, I know, and we fill in each other's gaps, and that's always what's made us.
Yes, and we fill in each other's gaps live for you every Monday here on StraightTalk.
Oh my gosh, that's right, and more often than not. Right. So Monday and Friday now. Monday you'll get to see our serious political, intellectual side and all that great stuff. And then Friday you get to see us at home organizing our socks. It's perfect.
Yes.
It's that perfect dichotomy of, unreachable yet approachable, I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
But that is not our only new show.
No.
Because, we don't do anything small.
Screw it.
No. And, all this came with a caveat for 2015 because, we also have a new home and all these things that I am decorating and is going to be part of the Home Talk show, too.
Right.
But house help. I'm not going to do the house chores anymore and run a media empire and raise children.
No.
Of which another might be on the way, but we don't know yet.
Oh, yeah, but drop it here.
Well, just saying, it's possible. Possible we could hear the pitter-patter of little feet again.
We do. His name is Boo Boo, and we didn't learn the first time.
No, because we just don't. We try until we get it. Well, I can't say right because you can't get better than Boo Boo, but.
Yeah, no kidding.
I know. But yeah.
All right, well. Yeah, so one of the other shows that I'm kind of geared up about is, of course, The Morning Boner.
I knew that was the next one you were going to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
That's right. And it's going to be exciting. It's our morning show.
It's been swelling for a long time. And
that's right.
Looking at the markets for the rest of New York radio, there's some morning radio shows, and we've checked them out, and they're, okay. All right. But... Yeah, this guy and this girl think we can do it better. So
that's right.
Coming up in 2015, probably very shortly after January 1st, we'll be getting into The Morning Boner, which is going to be a 30-minute morning show that's going to be heavily produced, heavily scripted. We're going to unleash the comedy dragon that lives within us.
Well, that's it. People have to see, why I'm in entertainment, why you're in entertainment,
Urine? Oh, you're in. Got it.
Ba-doom-cha. Yeah. That we actually, you were in acting school for how long? I was on stage and in front of the camera from the time I was 3 until the end of rehab.
Right.
And, all that kind of stuff. So, we actually there's a reason that we do this we're not just two yum-yums that said, let's get a microphone and make an internet radio show.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually had a background. And it's time that we start showcasing that, because people think that we just decided to grab a mic and do a radio show. And that's
that's
really
one
not.
thing that we really should promise our listening audience. We will never bring a yum-yum to Radio 1.
No.
There you go.
No, we will not.
No yum-yum. That should be the secondary motto to There's Only One.
With no yum-yum. That's it. We are yum-yum free radio.
That's right, because yum-yums are carcinogens.
Oh, yes, and they're gluten-filled.
Yes. Gluten-filled.
That's right.
Oh, where is my drum? Anyway, gang, we're going to go for our second big New York City commercial break here, so we'll be back in 2 New York minutes.
And you're listening to Straight Talk with Kate and Crash on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum, 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
In this fast-paced, digital everything life, there's nothing like experiencing the world's finest journalism in its original form. So sign up today for as little as $3.80 a week to receive the greatest newspaper in the world and all the incredible experiences that come with it.
Wait a sec. I found our colors.
We've made a decision.
Great. Let's go get you set up. We need the brushes. You should check out our workshops.
Push your color boundaries while staying well within your budget walls.
I want to paint something else.
More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Bare Premium Plus Interior Paint. Only at the Home Depot, and now only $23.46 a gallon.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York. With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
The hot new accessory, brows that wow. New from Maybelline, New York, it's Brow Drama, our first sculpting ball brush with tinted gel. Just sweep, then sculpt for bolder, sculpted brows. New Brow Drama. Get the look at Maybelline.com.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
You got it. Thank you, Chris. And you are back with us here at Straight Talk on HTLA Radio 1 New York. You are listening to Kate and Crash.
That's right.
And we're talking the new shows, ladies and gentlemen. And let's talk about, we've been talking about it for a year. I realize this, but lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's our Straight Talk about alternative lifestyles. Well, not as serious as Straight Talk, but, well, that was ow. Ow. I guess I'm going to have to hire the night crew back. All right. Yes. So it's the lifestyle, and it's going to be the many lives of kink, and we're going to explore alternative lifestyles in every form. We're going to have, expert guests and authorities and people that live these alternative lifestyles to come and discuss it. We want to kind of remove the stigma from these kind of lifestyles, and show that there are. We've had a lot of brave people willing to come and discuss things in a non-judgmental way. This show is, we ourselves engage in an alternative form of living, so we can respect the stigma that people go through for stereotypes and all that kind of thing. So we want to open up some perspectives.
Absolutely.
And mostly we want people out there to know that they're not alone if they're choosing an alternative lifestyle, and that there are resources out there and there are people that can help. And especially with the advent of teenagers now being so confused, sexually in this generation that we're living in this time.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that they understand that it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That it's just stuff and it's okay.
Well,
so I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really helpful show. Whereas Sex and the Kitty was more personal, this is more social.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've got a blast from the past for you. In fact, I've got a blast from the very beginning.
I'm so afraid. He's got a clip from when we first started almost 5 years ago.
Back in 1962.
I can't believe it. I never listen to my shows, just like I don't watch myself on TV or video or any of that kind of stuff. I just don't do it. I do my work and I go, and I don't revisit. I don't watch it unless I absolutely have to.
Right.
So this is the first time I'm hearing it since it happened too, and I'm like cowering and I'm a little afraid. But all right, well, this is the disaster show that we were talking about on so many episodes ago.
Last year, yeah.
And so this is a clip from
this.
that.
Actually, this is it in its entirety, 12 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, oh my gosh, the disaster episode from Straight Talk from 2010.
Yeah, here we go.
Wow.
Well, if you can hear, this is Kate Taylor, and you're listening to Straight Talk, the disaster episode. I'm not sure if anybody can hear me, if my listeners can hear me, because we've had a bit of a Pepsi syndrome incident, and the producer's coffee just spilled all over the production booth and all of our equipment. So I'm not quite sure if we're broadcasting or if we're not broadcasting, because I can't hear a damn thing. So if any of my meets listening in the chat room or whatever could acknowledge whether or not they're hearing the show, that would be most helpful to me. Because without my producer being logged on just at the moment, I have no way of knowing whether or not we're broadcasting or not. So it would be great if somebody could type yes or no whether or not they could hear in the simul chat. Right. Now, this is just kind of a bummer because we have a really special show tonight, and we also have a special guest with us. There was a shout-out that I'd like to do. Hopefully we're on the air, and it will get heard. This is from Warren Kelly and his crew in Northern Australia. He wants me to give a great big shout-out to all of the New York City tri-state area volunteer firefighters from his crew down there. So down under, down there, yeah. So that has been done now, and we all need to give a big high five to our volunteer service workers of all denominations, firefighters, emergency services, all that.
Oh, yeah.
Where would we be without them in an emergency? Those brave people that run in when we're all running out. Okay. So until we get our act together and get everybody who's supposed to be on the show tonight, I guess I can do our station business that usually my effervescent co-hosts take care of for me. Now, Mike McGovern's out with 104 fever and a flu and a very bad chest thing that makes him unable to breathe, so speaking's kind of difficult. And hubby is in there trying his best not to bite off the producer's head for spilling the coffee all over the booth. And our special guest, while hopefully safe and sound somewhere in the studio, hopefully he'll be calling in and on as well very shortly with us.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. So, go to our website, because you're going to be able to listen to all our archived shows there. It's www.htla973.com. And also, check out my website, thefiercekitty.com, www.thefiercekitty.com. And check out hubby Crash Jesus' website /blog, because there's some really cool stuff going on there. Well, actually, it's in transition. He's getting it up. So it's www.crashjesus.com. For now, you can probably just go to his old site, www.onemoresmoke.com. Now, go to HTLA973.com, because we have a big promo going on. Oh, that reminds me. We have chosen a winner for our first monthly promo contest. Ms. Joanne Darby, she's going to be on our show with us next week. She won the guest co-host spot, and she's going to be hosting an episode of Straight Talk, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this month, to win our promo contest, all you have to do is register a free profile on HTLA973.com and help us name the HTLA Bear. That's right. Our HTLA Bear, our mascot, our beast that we love so much. We need a name for him, and only you can do that. So please come to the website, and all you got to do is register your free profile and submit the name that you'd like to see for the bear. And our staff is going to get together and vote on the best names. And at the end of the month, we're going to choose a winner. December 1st, we're going to announce the winner. And, yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. Okay, so regarding social media. Now, of course, you can search for all of us, our HTLA shows and hosts on Facebook. There's way too much information about our shows and staff there, to stay individually. So just, search HTLA or your hosts individually, and friend or like what you see or are interested in. Pretty soon the Fierce Kitty merchandise will be coming out, and you'll be able to grab some of that on the Fierce Kitty website. That's fierce. You can make sure your kitty's fierce too. And and don't forget, now Thursday is my sister show, Straight Sex with Kate and Crash. Yes, that's right. Crash Jesus is going to be permanently co-hosting that show for me. So, see, now here's the thing. Without my producer actually being in the studio, I can't get the guest on either. So, let's get back to what the topic of the show is tonight. And it's politics. It's fun for everyone. Political season starting. Straight Talk's getting back to its roots. The presidential elections. This is a big year. And I happen to be very fortunate in that our best friend and my husband are running for president and vice president on the independent ticket. So, yes, that's right. Darrell Keith Harris and Christopher John Taylor. HarrisTaylor2012.com. Go there. You can read all about their campaign, all about what they plan to propose for the country and its well-being. And definitely call in and write in, with questions and stuff for them, because they will get here at some point. I very well can't go on for an hour and a half without my guests or my co-hosts, because, this show is about guests and co-hosts talking. So, you never know who's going to show up on Straight Talk to talk straight, or who's not going to show up on Straight Talk to talk straight. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk a little politics until they do get back here. So they're running on the independent ticket, like I said, and they really have common sense solutions that if this government would have implemented these eons ago, our country wouldn't be in the state that it's in, which is a horrible mess of a country. The first thing they plan to do, should they be elected, is, make sure that the office of Commander-in-Chief is used in that manner. we don't understand why Obama is the president, the commander-in-chief, the ruler of the free world, the man with the plan, the man in charge of everything, and yet nothing gets done. Well, I already know why that is. It's bipartisan politics. That's the first thing we need to eliminate. But, he needs to exercise the power of his office and, be a man and take the reins and do what needs to be done. For example, we have the capability within 48 hours of getting boots on the ground anywhere in this world when it comes to an invasion or a war or anything like that. But yet he can't pick up the phone and within 72 hours bring all of our troops home. I find that a little disconcerting and something amiss in that regard there. And that's one of the things that, needs to change. And we need to have some strong men who are convicted to their ideals and not convicted of any crimes, but convicted to their ideals to make sure that that sort of thing does get pushed through and does happen, And I think, like I said earlier, it's the bipartisan nature of the House itself that causes all the problems. There's so many people on each side fighting for their own interests and their own, paychecks to remain status quo, that nothing ever gets agreed upon or done for the good of anyone else, except the people at that higher echelon level. Now, I can see it, okay, so you work so hard to get to that level of stature in society and blah, blah, blah. You should have a little more perks than the average Joe. But you got to remember, it's the average Joe that got you there, and it's the average Joe that keeps you there, and why you're in, to do that job, and you need to serve that average Joe with everything you do. And if you can't do that, then, I just don't get how most of them can sleep at night and lay their heads on the pillow. That, to me, is another big thing, because it's something I could never do. You screw an entire community out of whatever it is you're screwing them out of this week. How do you sleep? How do you enjoy any of the benefits that your life has to offer at that point when you know you've done something as heinous as that? And then you get some really bad stuff that goes on, too. So, I just don't get it. I just don't get how people can live with themselves not doing the right thing whenever possible, in every opportunity. In every circumstance. I just don't get that. So anyway, I really don't know how much longer it's going to be until we get everybody back on and back sorted. If there's any callers out there, I know I had some potential callers message me on Facebook today that they were going to be calling in to ask some questions of the host and whatnot. So if they're available and they're listening, they can feel free to call and we can chat. Well, actually, how are they going to call if I don't have a producer to patch them through? Well, yeah, so, yeah. Yeah. See, and this is our free-for-all show because, it's us and this is our campaign and this is, it's their campaign. I just support them in that. So it was going to be really easy to have this show because we knew what we were going to talk about and we knew what we were going to, God, we can go on for hours and hours about politics and this sort of thing. But kind of difficult without somebody there to bounce stuff off of, right? So, yeah, I can't even go to commercial break without my producer. Yeah, so kind of difficult. I just can't possibly see rambling on for another hour and 15 minutes. So, let's see, what can we talk about? I don't know. See, without my guests and without my co-hosts for tonight, I don't know what else we can possibly talk about. Alrighty. I guess I will go and see exactly what's going on in the production room and find out when and how the show is going to continue. Or, and this is a possibility now, folks, we might have to reschedule the show for tomorrow. So, hang on, bear with me, I'll see what's going on. Thanks.
And there we are. Are we back? Are we back? Hello, New York. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Wow. I'm going to fire 30 frickin'
All right.
and kill them all.
So, now I'm back.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
God.
Nope, can't hear you. I don't know. We're having a lot of technical difficulties.
Oh, the cat chewed my headset. That's great.
How could the cat chew your headset if it's...
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, that was hysterical. I was, I kept my cool as much as possible, but you wouldn't know how upset I was during that thing.
Oh, you was mad?
Oh, I was so upset.
And when I was talking in there, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, we couldn't hear each other.
Couldn't hear
we were
me.
in completely different, rooms, other ends of the studio. I couldn't hear him, and he couldn't hear me. And we had no communication, via our typing messaging thingy.
No, it was dead.
Yeah, we were just completely dead. And I was so upset. I was so upset.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, good times. Yeah. That was...
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
I think our guest just left. Yeah. I never saw him again.
I know. And, and that was it. 12 minutes of a 90-minute show. And that was about all I could carry. And,
well, you did. I got to say, you did stellar. Except for the last little two areas there near the end where you kind of went dead air on us. You did pretty good.
It was tough.
You did pretty good.
And it had to be a political show too. It couldn't have been about something about fashion or something.
Well, and who would have thought? That was early 2012.
I thought it was earlier than that.
Well, maybe it was. It was the 2012 campaign.
Yes,
that's right.
Was
so
2010.
It was 2010.
You were running. You were starting your campaign. Running.
That's right. We did it just over a year before it started. Right.
That's right.
So.
Well, I wasn't that bad in 2012.
No,
we'd already done the 5 Days of War premiere with Rennie Harlan and stuff. So no, we were. I had Tristan in 2012.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that was way in 2010.
Yeah. That was just wow. We got to go for our third break here, and when we come back, we'll get into more of the fun and joy that has been HTLA over the last 4 years.
And you're listening to Straight Talk with Kate and Crash on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
In this fast-paced, digital everything life, there's nothing like experiencing the world's finest journalism in its original form. So sign up today for as little as $3.80 a week to receive the greatest newspaper in the world and all the incredible experiences that come with it.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more #1 choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights. Superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was
beautiful.
A broom closet.
But the
worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York. With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
The hot new accessory, brows that wow. New from Maybelline, New York, it's Brow Drama, our first sculpting ball brush with tinted gel. Just sweep, then sculpt for bolder, sculpted brows. New Brow Drama. Get the look at Maybelline.com. Maybe it's Maybelline.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Well, there you go. We are back, gang, on this Monday night Straight Talk with Kate and Crash.
In much better form than we were in 2010. I have to say. Even I'm impressed with our progress.
Well, it's funny listening to that when you're talking about President Obama, and this is back in 2010. It's amazing that you had the foresight to know that he was going to write so many executive orders and memos.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah,
but
no.
I just thought, and I didn't want it to be him. I wanted it to be you or somebody else that was intelligent. So... But hey, you know what? I've got to say, I don't care what people say, and you mark my words because he'll attest to the fact that I'm just about never wrong. In the future, we're going to realize that all these orders that he's writing and all these things that he's doing via immigration and healthcare and all these kind of things, they're actually going to turn out to be some of the greatest things that have ever been done.
What?
And you can't see these kind of things when they're going on in the moment. Things need to be worked out. Situations have to change. Things have to fall into place. And it's incredibly difficult for even the self-aware to, and the objective aware.
Right.
To even be able to defy their own inherent prejudices. And, I'm just talking about situations, not, let's raise the bar a little bit here. And see where these things might be beneficial in the future. I mean... but mark my words, they will be seen and go down in history as some of the greatest decisions that have ever been made. And, I'm not a fan of the man, and nor his administration.
No.
And it's not because I'm a Republican. It's just I voted for him. But he didn't do anything for me once I did that. And although right now, he is doing some things that are going to be beneficial to members of my family who are Canadian and immigrants that, I would like to see in a better position and like some very close people that, we'd like to see spend the end of their lives here with us.
Right.
And the medical for them now is going to be huge, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's not always it's not just the Mexicans and the Middle Eastern people that are immigrants here. Everybody who lives here is an immigrant. Duh. I was born in New Jersey, but, my ancestors are still from England.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And, I'm English and French, and yes, my husband's Irish and married the enemy, but, But everybody, unless you're a Native American, you're an immigrant, and...
but they don't see it that way.
But hadn't Tammany done all the stuff that he did way back then, in New York, you guys would be in the same boat as you're trying to put the immigrants of today in.
That's true.
So,
Very true.
That's what I mean about the objective views, as opposed to the subjective, prejudicial ones.
Right. No, true enough. True enough. Absolutely.
I know. But yeah.
So
I wasn't all knowing in the disaster episode, though. I had to do some more growth first.
Well, I don't know, but that was comedy gold. That thing right there.
My face hurts, I have to say.
Oh man, my stomach and face hurts.
But just knowing how, like, he was bright brick red, thinking that it was the coffee or if it was something else, and then in the end to find out that, because we've always had pets in the studios and stuff like that. Because when we first got married, I had fostered 11 cats and 2 dogs or something like that, so they were always around. To find out that it wasn't any of those things he thought it was that the cat had chewed the wires. Yeah, we cut out the profanity that was actually on the end of that episode. Yeah, we had to bleep that out.
No shortage of that, let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Keep your headphones away from your microphone.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I know. You're always yelling at me because I don't sit close enough to the mic.
Yes. And
Tonight I do.
You always swing your hands around and punch the mic.
I do that too.
Knock the boom and, yeah.
I talk, I'm very animated when I'm speaking.
All the money we've spent to upgrade this studio to pure HD, only for you to knock it around, kick it around, feedback the universe.
I know. I apologize.
And I've even got the feedback destroyer on right now, and you still manage to do that. I don't know how you do that.
Yes.
I don't know how you do that. Well, I want to take a moment here to remember some of our longtime listeners who aren't Jonathan Sheck or Marky Costello or David Caruso.
Well, they're longtime listeners and, yeah, right. Oh, okay.
And yeah, what?
No, I thought you meant our plebeian listeners.
I'm sure they'll appreciate you referring to them as the plebeian listeners.
Not our celebrity listeners.
Yeah, so special shout out to all you plebeians out there. Yes.
I didn't call them serfs.
Oh, yeah. I got to watch what I say on here. That's right.
Oh, my meeps know that. I'm kidding, and I love them.
Well, I want to give shout-outs to Joanne Bagnall, one of my number one fans for Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yay.
Devil-on Crawford, also another.
Great picture. Excuse me. I have to give a shout-out because I never answered the message on Facebook because I'm just crazy busy. But I love the Hello Kitty tree. She sent me a picture of a Christmas decorations of Hello Kitty. Because she knows I love Hello Kitty. So.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Also, Monica Randall Wagner.
Okay. Cool beans, yeah.
I mean, cool beans. She's a longtime listener and your friend on Facebook.
Yes, cool beans, yes. Go on. I'm co-acknowledging with you.
You're cognologing?
I'm cognologing. Right.
Okay. Also, Dr. Judd Newborn of the Long Island Cinema Arts Center.
Oh, we miss you, Judd.
Yes.
Call us. Let's visit.
Far too damn long.
Right.
Far too tam. It's my Vietnamese coming out there.
Straight the taco with the Keita Tanaka.
That was one of my favorites also, yes.
Yeah, we did an episode like that too some time ago. You have to see if you can find a clip from that because that was funny as all get out.
Well, that's actually on the webisodes. I'll have to pull the audio from that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, in 2015, of course, we are going to be bringing back, of course, with the new studio, which you haven't seen yet.
No, probably not till spring.
Yeah.
I've finished decorating it.
It'll be spring. Well, I'm also bringing in some 4K cameras instead of HD, but...
I know. Well, that's part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole tailor-made film in International.
International.
Right, I couldn't even remember the name.
No, of course not.
I have too many companies. I remember the names. Everything just falls under Taylor Media Industries. We keep it really simple.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Who else? There's many more fine people.
Oh, there's too many to list. Lainey Borges. And, we got too many friends to list that have been good supporters of ours over the years. And there's just too many to list. And I would feel really bad if we leave anybody out.
And Mom and Dad, Phyllis and Don.
Yes, of course. Absolutely.
Tom Grote,
our best man at our wedding.
Another fine Coffee and Cigarettes follower.
Really?
Religiously.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did he. But OMG. I'm kidding. He loves the show. It's Coffee and Cigarettes. What's not to like?
Right. There you go. Well, if it was Coffee and Cigarettes and video games, he'd be a more avid listener.
No, more if it was coffee and video games and marijuana.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, he doesn't smoke cigarettes, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does. Sure. You bet. Smoke cigarettes.
Well, then it would be cigarettes and video games and venison stew or...
that's right, too.
Buffalo stew. Moose stew. There it is. Yeah, moose
yes.
stew. Sorry, Tom, I won't eat. You're my best man, but I won't eat moose stew.
Oh, I did.
I know you did. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Master Chris Griffiths, of course. Yes, all the way from the fine neck of the woods where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny Dean, also a very avid listener at HTLA, and shout-outs to him as well, and his lovely cat.
Yes.
And no, not his
girlfriend, not his cat.
Actual girlfriend, yeah. Yeah, and Aerosmith rocks.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Those boys who have been doing a lot of good touring this year all around the U.S. and Canada, so hats off to them as well.
Right. Hey, maybe they want some advertising space.
If we did music, yeah.
Well, I don't think
maybe
it matters really.
Might attract the right market then, but no, I don't think so.
I just think it's why not? Just because people listen to intellectual talk radio doesn't mean that they don't like music too.
Well, that's true, but I don't know. I just think if people are going to come for the talk, they're here for the talk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. That's about that there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many to list. If we've left anyone out, don't be offended. We love you all, and we
there is.
Do it intentionally. And there's too many.
Yeah, no doubt we've left a good number out. But
right.
I can't think right
now. Debbie Solomon.
Oh, yep, Debbie Solomon,
there's
absolutely.
There's just too many to list, and, I'm fatigued.
Yes, you're fatigued. Yes, because this is kind of a late night special edition Straight Talk.
Yeah, we were a little bit delayed
this
evening.
We were.
Right.
But hey.
Hey.
The show must go on.
Well, it's the holidays, absolutely. I'm still holiday burnt.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you would be. This woman put on a Christmas like you wouldn't believe here.
Oh, well, I tried.
Yeah.
But,
so anything else we're unveiling in 2015? Any other new innovations?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you have your coffee and cigarettes, and
that's
while
right.
I can't list the date of launch because I'm not sure with Home Talk where that's going to go or how big that's going to get or how consuming of my time. I've actually had some requests, believe it or not, from the teenage set, from the adolescent set, the under 20 set, to do kind of like an advice show, like a call-in show or a thing like, well, with two teenage daughters and friends, I'm getting whom I chat with too,
Right.
Everybody knows me, It's like I'm the come and tell your problems to when you can't talk to your parents kind of mom, that kind of thing.
Right.
So we're toying around with the idea of a Just Ask Kate show. That's like a half hour or, something of that nature. So we'll test market it.
Mostly listener-based, listener interactive, that kind of thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Answer the weekly questions, that dealio.
Right, exactly.
Interesting, yeah.
We'll see. And
I think
the advent of lifestyle and home talk, there should be a lot of questions from a lot of areas, that I can answer. So,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know how I qualify to do an advice show, well, don't take my word for it. It's just,
Well, who would we ask then?
Well, Debbie Solomon for one.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Absolutely. Any of my meeps on Facebook. But also you. Duh.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Considering it was always your idea. Well, actually, his idea was just do what I say and you'll be fine.
That's right.
Right. Not a just ask Kate kind of thing. But I felt that was a little bit presumptuous. So.
Well, I don't know. I kind of think the hook for that show, the presumptuous angle would be the one that pulls people in. Wow, that's a pretty
arrogant.
That's a pretty cocky statement. Okay, let's give you a listen. Let's see how much you know. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then just do what I say and you'll be fine. Yeah. But I do the disclaimer: if you don't do what I say and it's not fine, then it's not on me.
No. Well, why would it be?
Yeah. Well, there's a very stringent set of regulations that go along with that. You have to do everything that I say when and how I say it, or else, you can't expect to have the results that you're hoping for. If I say go out and if I say, walk around the block twice a day.
Yeah.
if you only do it once, then you can't blame me when you don't get the results you want. No,
right. Absolutely. Why would they? Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay. I mean, there's disclaimers for every show. So,
sure. I mean, if you want to get a better job and you tell me the area and I say to you, well, okay, and I'll do the research for you and I'll do as much as I can to help you. And I say, well, look, I found this website and go check it out. And, maybe you should sign up for these classes or whatever. Yeah, and you don't do that, then.
You are stellar at internet research. I've never met somebody who's got more of an IQ, I guess, or a savvy of getting the exact answers you want.
Why, thank you.
Right when you need them. It's just, yeah.
I'm just really specific in my searching and phraseology, I guess.
Well, yes, but I mean, that's an art. Like, the other day I was wanting to search something and I was like, I don't know what it was. It was probably something like, I want to know about 2x4s. So I typed in wood 2 times 4, enter. And that was my Google search. You come along and you're like, what are you doing? No, I want spruce studs, 2x4. You put down the certification stamp number. I don't know. You throw these long 70 or 80 word descriptors and you hit enter and it's like the first 5 are like, boom, thanks, done.
You have to be specific. That's the key to internet searching.
Well, I think it's also got a lot to do with the fact that you're a writer. I think it's also got to do with the fact that you have numerous post-secondary education degrees. I think it also has to do with the fact, there's a lot of other factors there, and I think it all just goes to, overall, what's the word? Well, I guess intelligence level.
Oh, why, thank you.
Like, I could do that huge, long, detailed search thing and hit enter too, but it doesn't occur to me.
Oh.
I mean, if you asked me to set up 22 cameras for an action sequence, I could do that no problem in my sleep. But you asked me to go search for the best kind of
How to put Tristan's fan in his room.
Shut up. That's a perfect example.
Yes, it is.
Anywho, we got to go for our last commercial break, and then we've only got time for about 6 more minutes before we got to get out of here. Yeah, it's been fun, but it's going to be 2015 in just a little over a day.
Wow. Okay, got to get ready.
So when we come back, you tell them all about your new computer.
Ooh, yes. Good.
And you're listening to Straight Talk with Kate and Crash on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
In this fast-paced, digital everything life, there's nothing like experiencing the world's finest journalism in its original form. So sign up today for as little as $3.80 a week to receive the greatest newspaper in the world and all the incredible experiences that come with it.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
Wait a sec. I found our colors.
We've made a decision.
Great. Let's go get you set up. We need the brushes. You should check out our workshop.
Push your color boundaries while staying well within your budget walls.
I want to paint something else.
More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Bare Premium Plus interior paint. Only at the Home Depot and now only $23.46 a gallon.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
The hot new accessory? Brows that wow. New from Maybelline, New York, it's Brow Drama, our first sculpting ball brush with tinted gel. Just sweep, then sculpt for bolder, sculpted brows. New Brow Drama. Get the look at Maybelline.com. Maybe it's Maybelline.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Yes, you do. We are back, and you are, of course, listening to the Monday Night Straight Talk Special Edition with Kate and Crash on HTLA Radio 1, New York. Mm-hmm. It is 11:39 Eastern, and we've been talking about, well, just about everything. HTLA of the past, of course, with the disaster episode back in 2010, the HTLA of the, well, last 4 years, and, of course, now the HTLA of the future. Yes. So.
That's right.
There you go. Oh, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And, yeah. Some exciting stuff coming up for the future. Absolutely. You know, but.
Yeah, there always is. You know, we've always been a progressive forward, and, you know, we might have a bad habit of talking about things that we have kind of in development, and then, as anybody who is in any kind of project-based anything knows, things go wrong with elements of the project, and they get stalled, or they get shelved, or they get whatever it is, and that happens quite a bit in all media or entertainment industry-related things.
Well, and I would like to point out that, you know, the recent expansion into 2 was another situation where it was third parties that completely screwed everything up.
Well, you know, fair, true, yes, but again, I'm all about, you know, that core and solidifying and, you know, that kind of thing as well. And when we had that meeting today, and I put that very big, sexy diagram up for you to look at, then you could see why.
Well, and the bottom line is we are the package, period.
Full stop. There is only one. There can be only one.
That's right.
And this is it. That's right. And, yeah, you know, and it started with us. And the ironic, it can be only one, but there's 2 of us. Which also led me to say that at first I was a little miffed when some years ago Straight Talk with Kate Taylor became Straight Talk with Kate and Crash.
Right.
But I'm really glad that happened, too.
Oh, all right.
You know, because even though he was always, you were always there with me co-hosting and doing that, and at one point it was even a panel show.
Right.
Where I had 4 co-hosts.
Yep.
Plus guests.
Yep.
You know, I'm glad that you've come on board to be permanent co-host with, you know, equal billing and importance and all that kind of stuff. So.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be anywhere else on Mondays.
That's right.
Because there's nothing going on.
Well, if I'm in here, you can't do much anyway. So, because you've got to be producing me.
Oh, well, see, there you go. Like, I'm here whether I like it or not.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know. But I guess I like real talk. But now you're even kind of helping me out with that, too, now. So.
Well, and it's a good idea, too. I think the kind of angle that it's taken and the direction it's heading. Because, you know, now you've taken real talk, which was already a concept unto itself. And now you've just added even a whole other dynamic and component to it that even makes it more unique. So I think that's a pretty stellar show, actually. And that's Wednesdays, the Film of Wednesdays on HTLA Radio 1.
Right, except this Wednesday.
Okay.
New Year's Eve.
Oh.
We
yes,
won't be
it
here.
is. We'll be dropping the ball.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, we will be dropping things.
Well, there you go. And I guess with that, my lovely, darling co-host, we are about out of the realm of time, as it were.
Oh, okay.
So I guess
Thank you.
I don't know. Okay.
Yes.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, yes. Tonight has been pretty amazing, and it's always great to, go back and look over the things that we've done and how far we've come and how far we're going and all that kind of thing. So,
right.
And again, as always, we're so grateful for the support that we've gotten over the years and that we keep getting. So
absolutely.
Time to say goodnight, sir.
Well, there you have it.
Time to say goodnight, sir.
Oh, yes. Well, good night to all of our HTLA listeners. Be sure to keep checking the website and listening for all of our awesome shows.
That's right. And as always, I'd like to thank HTLA Radio 1 for, existing. Bringing you the issues that matter with the people to whom they matter most. And giving us so many opportunities to grow, both personally and professionally over the years. A huge thank you to our sponsors and supporters, and of course, we're nothing without you, our listeners. Last but not at all least, thank you to my producer, co-host, and husband, the man who always endeavors everything he does with the very best of intentions for everyone involved. A man that anyone would be lucky and privileged to work with, and that's why he will always be my everything, Christopher Crash Jesus Taylor. Now, be sure to be here next Monday, Meeps, because you never know who's going to show up on Straight Talk to talk straight. Be fierce, kitties. Have a great new year. Meow. Good night.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.